Mel Robbins. I am the author of the international bestseller, The 5 Second Rule. And this is the first time that you are seeing the new cover. Um, we have a new cover. The old cover is, can you hear me that? So I can show you that this is not the same book. We added bonus materials and new videos. This is what's been out for 3 years. This just launched on Amazon. It's been translated into 32 language. It has a new open. It has new videos that came with it. If you've been waiting to read the 5 Second Rule, boom, this is the book that will change your life because it will teach you a science-backed trick that is the fastest way to changing your life. So that's who I am. I am also the host of a daytime syndicated talk show here in the United States. It's on 5 days a week on television across the United States called The Mel Robbins Show. You're here inside my office in New York City across from CBS Broadcast Center. And the reason why I am doing this video today is because I am in the middle of teaching a free course called Best Decade Ever to more than 130,000 people around the world. We've got over 50,000 of you in a private Facebook group. If this is the first time you're seeing this, Best Decade Ever, congratulations, it's your lucky day. You can still jump in and get this free workbook, and you can still get all the materials of the course, and you can still join the Facebook group. Just go to melrobbins.com/bestdecade. The purpose of today's video is to do a little bit of teaching now that we are in week 4 of Best Decade Ever. And it's also to preview what's coming. And if I have time, I will answer a few questions. But before I start on Best Decade Ever, I wanted to talk a little bit about the breaking news that hit yesterday that you may or may not be aware of. If you're here in the United States, I'm sure you're aware of it. And that is that there was a helicopter crash yesterday north of Los Angeles, and Kobe Bryant, the NBA basketball phenomenon, husband and father of 4 children, was killed in that helicopter crash along with his daughter Gigi. And there was another family that was also involved in this tragedy. It was a coach in the Orange County area who was with his wife and one of their kids. Both the husband, the wife, and one of their daughters died. They are survived by 2 children. And everywhere you go in the United States right now, there are memorials for Kobe Bryant. He started in the NBA in 1996. When he retired, he didn't just peace out. He has gone on to be a huge philanthropist, a huge supporter of girls and girls in sport and girls and leadership. I have met him at events that we have both been speaking at. He is everything that everybody says about him. He is gracious, he is kind, he is generous with his time. And I keep thinking about the fact that when I met him at a speaking event just a couple of years ago, what did we talk about? His kids. So it's a huge blow. And one of the things that I've already been on the news this morning, and I'm going to be on in DC and in Los Angeles later today, I've been talking about why does this death feel so personal for so many of us? And there are basically 5 reasons why Kobe's death has triggered so many people's emotions. And the reason why it feels personal, even though you may never have met him, is because it's stirring deeply personal emotions inside of you. Now, he played basketball for the NBA, recruited right out of high school, or drafted right out of high school, and he played since 1996. He had a massive career, which means so many people developed an emotional attachment to him because they literally grew up watching him play basketball. Even if you didn't cheer for the Lakers, you probably grew up and saw him playing in games. And so when you lose somebody that you have an emotional attachment to, it triggers your own emotions. And so there are some things that are particular about Kobe's death that I just want to explain to you, because this is having such a deep ricochet effect across so many people here in the United States. Number one, the facts around the death are so tragic And particularly given that Kobe was with his 13-year-old daughter, and you've got two other parents and a child who were killed in this accident, it triggers your worst nightmare as a parent. And so that's a deeply emotional trigger. The second thing is, given that he was 41 years old, and here he is, this star athlete, and now he's involved in a $100 million tech fund, and he's just beginning this next chapter of his life, and he's so vibrant. It reminds you of the fragility of life. It reminds you that, holy shit, if somebody that wealthy and somebody that accomplished and somebody that's that healthy can have a tragedy strike, what could happen to me or my family? And that's the emotion that it's stirring for you. The other thing that I think is happening for everybody is that we live in a moment of time where there is so much negativity. There is so much strife and political just nastiness, and people are in their corners. And ironically, I wrote about this in my high five letter that I send out every Friday to our newsletter subscribers. And the research shows that if you're at a moment in your life where you are full of discontent, or you are feeling uncertain, or you are feeling anxious, or you are going through something that is upsetting to you, feelings of nostalgia, feelings of grief, they get amplified. And so because we're in a moment of time where there's so much negativity in the news, as odd as it sounds, bonding over the common experience of mourning somebody that you respect is amplified in this particular moment, which is why it also feels so personal. The other thing that you need to understand is that because this is also sudden and traumatic, do not be surprised if what also gets triggered is the grief that you feel for losses in your own life. Whether it's the grief that you feel for somebody that's died that was a huge Lakers or Kobe fan, or the grief that you feel because you've lost a child, or you've lost a parent, or you've lost somebody suddenly. So, these are all the reasons why a death like this, even though you never met the person, can stir deeply personal things for you. So if this is true for you, give me the thumbs up. And all you need to know is today, just give yourself a little breathing room. The thing that you could do, because I find that whenever I'm triggered emotionally, especially by a tragedy, is you can affirm the people that are around you. You can affirm the fact that there are certain people in your life that you love. And don't just think about how much you love your kids, or you love your parents, or you love your family, or you love your friends. Today, take the time to say it. That's something that you can do as all of these feelings are getting stirred up. And of course, if it's stirring up something for you that's really personal, there is zero shame. And in fact, there's tremendous power in reaching out and talk to somebody about it. All right. So we got a lot to talk about. I want to jump into week 4 of the course. We have already covered the science of dreaming big. That was week 1, and why you need to dream big, and how training and allowing your brain to dream massively is part of a really important skill, because it allows your mind to be creative. It allows your mind to be innovative. And it's also a really empowering way to fight your limiting beliefs that make you think really small, that hold you back. That was week 1. Week 2 was all about looking at the circle of friends that are around you. Or no, that was week 3. What was week 2? Week 2 was all about shrinking your big dream into a theme for this year. Mine was about taking my big dream of writing one of the pivotal, seminal books of this decade and turning it into the theme of being an author, turning it into the theme of writing every day. Now, here's a confession. I've been really lousy at shrinking it down. And the reason why I've been really lousy at shrinking down the practice of being a writer every day is because I'm in the middle of producing and hosting a daytime talk show, 175 shows a year. And that means there are 6 to 7 shows a week that I'm writing, that I'm researching, that I'm working with my producers on. And so I realized, in terms of a theme of writing, I'm not doing it in the way that I'm thinking about, but all this writing that I do every single day. I mean, geez, Where are the scripts? I've got scripts on my desk somewhere. A pile of them. Hold on, there's that there.
They're right under that.
That are all under here. This is all the amount of stuff that I have been working on that I'm going to be drafting and writing just this week. So my theme is well in place, but when we wrap the season at the end of March, I got a lot of new habits to put in place when it comes to being an author. Third week that we covered was you building a dream team around you. And the main realization that I came out of last week around is that I had a dream team around me when I first stepped into the speaking business. I have a dream team around me right now in the author space. And what I need to be super deliberate about is creating a dream team that is in the space of developing a content lifestyle brand. That there's so much that I need to learn. There are people that are doing this in very masterful ways. And what I need to do, and this comes out of just the learning from last week, is surround myself with a dream team, just like we discussed in week 3. And so again, I'm sure you had the same kind of realization. How many of you, give me a thumbs up, realized in last week's Best Decade Ever that, holy cow, I got to meet some people. I got to start putting myself out there. I got to surround myself with a dream team that I'm following, that can inspire me, that can challenge me, that can show me what is possible. Now, week 4 is really exciting because week 4 is taking you back to basics. What are the simple things that you can do in order to, is that Mindy? I hear somebody outside. Okay. What are the simple, I'll be out in like 10 minutes tops, if that's her. What are the simple things that you can do in order to establish some new habits so that you bring the small discipline that you need, the micro moves that actually make your biggest dreams come true? And for those of you that have been following me for a while, some of this will be a refresher, some of this will be new. This week is all about how you change the small things in your day-to-day life. Hacks, tools, small habits that will help you stay on track. And the thing is that these are habits that whenever I'm not cranking, when I'm not cooking with fire, when I feel like I'm going off track, guarantee, every time I feel that way, I have dropped these small habits out of my own life. And so it's important for everybody to get a refresher. So let me tell you what we're going to do this week. This week, tomorrow, Tuesday, you're going to get an email with a link to, is it a document?
It's a template.
To a template that you can print out that is a list of all my favorite hacks. Every one of them. All the things that help me stay on track. All the things that are mindset tricks. All of the stuff that I do whenever I feel like I'm going off course. All of the little promises that when I keep them, my life works out. And the other assignment for this week is you're going to turn to page 33 in your workbook. This is where week 4 kicks off. And guess what it looks like? Exactly what the other days look like. Why? Because we're training you around the importance of dreaming big. We're teaching you the skill of being able to imagine what's not possible and to fight your limiting belief and your self-doubt as you start to shrink it. And so you're going to continue to write down your 5 big dreams. And interesting thing, since we started doing this at the beginning of January, 4 of my dreams have stayed the same. But by writing it down every single day, I'm getting more and more clarity around the next chapter of the business that I want to build, because I am forcing myself to dream big. I'm forcing myself to write about it every day. And there are some days that I've written it down. I'm like, that's not really specific. Oh, that doesn't really feel right. Oh, there's something off about it. And in the practice of just opening this up and writing your 5 dreams down every day, something interesting is happening in my mind. I am noticing my own limiting beliefs, my own self-doubt, my own shitty excuses starting to melt away. And I'm seeing my mind go, well, why didn't you write it even bigger? Why not dream bigger? Why not, Mel? And I am starting to see a breakthrough for myself in my ability to write down things that feel impossible right now and really feel grounded in the desire to want to achieve them. The other thing you've got down here are places for notes. And, I have insights every day as I'm doing this program. One of them I've already shared with you, that if I want to get to the next level in terms of the kind of company I want to create, there is a dream team of advisors that I need to surround myself with. Very big insight. I'm sure you're having the same one. I'm also noticing that not drinking the month of January, I had a beer like a week ago. I wasn't cheating. I literally was like, I'm just going to have a beer. Other than that, not drinking has been huge for me. Exercising every morning, except for last week when I was deathly ill, has been enormous for me. And I also am realizing that I'm on the move so much and I'm creating so much because I host this talk show that I need more quiet time that is intentional quiet time. I'm not talking about quiet time while I'm commuting. I'm talking about taking time to sit down, to quiet the noise, and to tune into what my intuition is telling me. So as a preview to the long list of hacks and tools that you're going to get tomorrow that are free, I want to walk you through something that we're sending you today. So this is the 5-second journal. We created this a year and a half ago. I'm super proud of this. We put a ton of energy and effort and thought into this journal. For the price, it's $30, which means on Amazon, it's probably closer to $21. This thing is so valuable. Look at how thick this is, first of all. Secondly, it's designed so that it can fold back on itself and lie flat. It fits in a purse, a backpack. It's not branded with all kinds of crap on it, so you're not going to be embarrassed if you pull it out of a business meeting. And this is the science-backed journaling method that I use. Now, I want to be very clear. Don't buy this. You do not need to buy this. The reason why you don't need to buy this, because I promised you I'm not trying to jam anything down your throat, is because today we are sending you an email with a link to a free template that you can download. It is a template of the inside of this page, and you can see that I have filled it out today. This is the journaling method that I developed, that people around the world are using, that is based in science that and research that we have pulled from Harvard Business School, from the University of Delaware, from the University of Florida, from Caltech. It leverages things like the progress principle and the Zeigarnik effect. These are all very fancy words that means there are small things that you can do to tweak your mind and boost your productivity and take control. So today, for example, you start off with the fuel gauge, which is you measuring your energy. I circled middle of the range, which is like meh. And then you go over here and say, well, why do you feel this way? Well, I've got some big news that's hitting this week, and I have no idea how it's going to play out. So that makes me feel uncertain. Kobe's death has certainly stirred a bunch of stuff inside of me personally and as a parent. And people around me right now are stressed. And as you've learned in this course, energy is contagious. And so that's why I woke up today and my energy was like, meh. So the reason why you assess your energy is because if you boost your energy first thing, it impacts your productivity all day. And so to feel more energized, what can I do? Because if you wake up feeling, you're going to feel out of control. Well, there's things I can do. I can take time for myself today. I can listen to music. I can call somebody that makes me laugh. All things that will boost my energy immediately. In fact, just scheduling in the time ahead today to do those things will boost my energy immediately. That's important because it snaps my mind back in focus despite what's going on around me and helps me take control of my day. Then we jump down here to the Harvard Business School section and the progress principle. Today, my top project is staying optimistic. Now notice, it's not something physical that I'm doing. It's something mental that I'm doing. Why is staying optimistic important to me? This matters to me because my mindset is something I can control despite what's going on around me. The post we put up on social media today is all about optimism. Optimism isn't just throwing your hands in the air and creating and brushing everything with a positive lens. Optimism is telling yourself that regardless of what's happening around you, you can impact the outcome based on your attitude and your effort. And I believe that. I truly believe that. One small action I can take to move forward and be more optimistic: breathe, journal. When I feel myself stressing out, take a deep breath and remind myself that regardless of what happens, I will move forward. That it's not an ending, it's not a beginning, it's always a continuation in life. Always. Why does this matter to me? Or other thoughts? Well, that energy is contagious, and to really keep my force field up this week because people are so stressed. And today, I'm grateful for my family. If there's nothing else that Kobe's tragic death and his daughter and the other family should remind you of, is that life is fucking fragile. And if you're feeling it today, make sure that you double down on expressing your love and your gratitude for the people who are in your life that mean something to you. I think that's about it. You're going to get that template in an email today. Do we have time for a question? Where are we doing?
Yeah, we have one question.
What's the question?
So, Annette from Facebook. I'm worried about the program ending. I've made great progress, but how do I keep it going once this is over?
Oh, excellent. So I'm worried about the program ending, Annette. Me too. How do you keep going? Well, we are going to keep the Facebook group going. So that's one place where you can certainly get motivation and inspiration. And that will also be a group where you will always get the first look of any of the new motivational videos that we are putting out. And we are starting to crank up production on that. So there will be hopefully 2 new incredible videos every week coming out from us. Not just Q&A, but actually thought-provoking videos that help you look at life a little bit differently, like the one that we released just a couple days ago. The second thing is you can always come back to these tools. These videos are archived on YouTube. You can watch them at any time. And the third thing is this week is critical because you're going to learn the simple things that you can do to take control of your day. And you should always come back to those simple things the moment you feel like life is going off track. That's the answer. And finally, make sure you follow me on social media, because my role in your life is not only to teach you these in-depth concepts and hacks and tools and the science that you need to know in order to optimize yourself and your happiness and your future, but I'm also here to encourage you every day and to remind you that no matter what life is throwing at you, you can face it, you can survive it, and you can continue forward. And that there's more that you're in control of than you realize. I think that's all I have time for because I've got to jump into briefings for the show. If you're thinking, show? You have a television show? I know, I do. And you can watch it nationwide in the United States. If you're in the tri-state area, if you're coming to New York, please come be a guest in the studio audience. We tape Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Go to melrobbinshow.com. You can apply for tickets right there. They're free. And when you do get your tickets, make sure you let the audience team know you are a student in Best Decade Ever. Why? Well, because if they know that you're a student in my program, they will hold you after the taping and I'll come out and meet you personally. I'll sign whatever you've got. New copy of the 5-second rule, the 5-second journal, your notebook, whatever you want. It would be wonderful to meet you in person. Our students have started showing up as of last week. It is a thrill to meet you. So you can definitely do that. And if you want to watch the Mel Robbins Show, please, please, please just check your local listings at melrobbinshow.com. We are nationwide, and I guarantee you we are airing on a television in your area today. And the show today is incredible. Absolutely. I actually believe we saved 2 families today who are fighting over parenting. I think that's it. In case nobody else tells you today, let me be the one to tell you that I believe in you and your ability to face whatever it is that you're facing and to change your life. How do I know that? Well, because when you change how you think and you change the little things that you do, and that's everything that you've learned in Best Decade Ever, your life changes. All right. I'll see you later.